Well, hello again everyone, and we need to do another dragon picture since the last one didn't come out particularly well. We've got this steel plate ready with the hanger welded on the back, but I've painted it with quite a glossy white paint, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of a key with this 400 grit wet and dry paper. Oh sorry, this is 600 grit wet and dry paper. Right, now I've got my reference here, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the dragon on with the graphite paper. Right, next thing I reckon is to make an acetate shield for the dragon area. Right, now I'm going to add that acetate shield on here, locating it with the outer shield. I'm going to cover over the dragon, and for a change I'm going to start with the background. Now I'm going to draw around something circular, the lid of this teacup bottle should do, to get me a circle for the moon. Just use a bit of paper for that. Well, as you can see, we're a little bit keen and got the air on that a little bit too quick and blew some of the wet white paint away. So I'm going to let that settle for a little while, let that harden up, and then I think we'll have to sand this area off a little bit and rub it down just very slightly, and then we'll go for that again, I think. Well, while that dries a bit, it's time for a cup of tea and a sausage roll. Right, I think this has dried off a little bit now. What a mess, eh? I'm going to hit that with some 800 grit paper, just very lightly, just to get rid of the surface texture. Then I'm going to dust it back over with black, just around where it's messy. And then I think I'll cut it out of acetate, I think, next time, this moon thing, because the paper got a little bit wet and distorted. So I'll get another piece of acetate and cut that out of something a bit stronger this time. There we go, I'm feeling a little bit better about my night sky kind of vibe. what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some very dark green, and we'll just put a very fine bit of dark green in for the grass as well. Right, now it's time to take the shield off, and I think we won't need to add the other part in because it's white underneath. It's going to give quite a defined edge anyway. So I think we'll probably try and put the bat in without bat. What bat? The dragon, not bat. We'll put the dragon in without needing to use a stencil or anything. Maybe. Well, we'll see. See what happens. Well, folks, it's the next morning, and obviously the next thing to do really is to add the flames. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to give this a coat of the 40-30 balancing clear that I got recently, just to protect that artwork underneath. Well, I'm out in the garage now because I've got to spray quite a lot of the solvent paints and candies to get that flame effect. And I'm trying to keep my cheap eBay brush for the solvent paint and the more expensive Iwata brush for the acrylics, just so I don't have to mix the two in the same brush, because that causes a lot of horrible gumminess, which you then have to sort of clear out. So anyway, let's have a bit of a bash at these flames, eh? Well, I think we're probably getting to the point where we're ready for the clear coat on this. And don't forget, there's a selection of my paintings available on my Etsy shop. Just search in Etsy for Ttxela airbrush. I'll put a link in the description below. And also, if you'd like anything in particular painted, feel free to contact me on the email address below too. Right, let's get on and lacquer this. I'm going to start with the back first, of course. Right, that's been 7 minutes, so I'm going to give it a slightly heavier coat. I'm trying to use up the older can first on the back, because I don't particularly want to run out halfway through a coat. Right, well, 10 minutes has gone by. Let's give it a final sort of heavy flow coat on the back here. Oh no, look, we've had a bit of a disaster. I think what must have happened, I must have got some clear on the little cardboard bits I was using to raise this up, and it's actually taken some of the finish off there. Oh, I'm gonna have to take this home and try and patch it up, I think, before I clear coat that. Hopefully I'll be able to rescue that. There's a little bit there as well. Oh dear. Never mind, I'm sure we can repair that and touch that in. Oh dear. Well, it's been a few days since I damaged this picture with that clear coat, and about time we had to go at fixing it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blow in across some more black and some grey for the clouds. There's a little bit of damage here and a little tiny bit there and some marks here. But I think we should just be able to get rid of that. Fortunately, they're mostly on the sky areas. So there we go, I've just covered those scratches over with some black and then gone over with just some very faint white again, just to bring the clouds back in, and I think that's probably pulled it around again. And now it is ready for the clear coat on the front. Right, we're back here again. Let's try clear coat in the front. Wish me luck, folks. Oh dear. Okay folks, look at this. I don't know if you can see, but we've got this wrinkling crazing effect going on again. Now it's only on the moon, it's only on this white section. Now beforehand the advice was that I was leaving too long between coats and I needed to recoat with clear before the previous coat was still set. So yeah, I allowed 7 minutes after the initial light coat, and then I was going to allow 10 minutes between the subsequent heavy coats, but let's have the one heavy coat after the light coat, and yeah, just on the moon it's wrinkled up. So I'm not entirely sure what to do. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop now, leave it like that, and we'll try and rub that down when it's nice and hardened up, and then maybe we can seal that again, clear coat over it again once this clear coat has hardened up. And I don't know, it's worth a try, isn't it? But at the moment this is not looking too good. Okay, well, after being left to dry, it has actually, I mean, you can still see it, but it's shrunk right back, those wrinkles. And I've had this happen before where it's come up quite a lot, but then you leave it and it sort of sinks back down again. Now, the question really is what to do now. And I think what I'm going to do is, I mean, I could just leave it and try and sand that off and then buff it as it stands, or I could try and go over this again with another coat of clear. Now the question is, do I put a heavy coat on, or do I just go with a couple of lighter coats to try and get some coverage? And I'm not sure. I think what I might do is go with, what to do. Go with another heavy coat. Let's go all out. Go with another heavy coat and see if we can bury that, because that reaction now has hopefully finished. We might set it off again by putting more clear on top. It is a difficult call. I'm going to try another reasonably heavy coat on there. Well folks, this clear coat lark is properly stressful, isn't it? I've come out for a bit of a stroll and get some fresh air, and I'll have a little look at it when I get back and see how that's fared. As I say, I've had it wrinkle up like that before, and it's gone back down a little bit, so hopefully I've been able to bury that under that subsequent layer of clear coat without causing a further reaction. But only time will tell, I guess. Oh, fingers crossed, eh? Well, I'm back now, and although you can still see a sign of those wrinkles, they are nowhere near as bad as they were before. I might, you know, actually bury this in yet another coat of clear. In fact, I think I will, and then that'll give me plenty to sand down and get a nice shine on it, hopefully. Let's we're breaking all the rules here, aren't we? This is not how I worked out to do it, and people told me to do it before, but yeah, let's give it another bash and then we'll call it a day. Well, it's a few hours later, and would you look at this, look, the reaction has almost entirely gone. It's all shrunk back, and all is pretty much well. You can just feel a slight difference in texture as you go across from the dark to the white of the moon. Not really sure why that is. It certainly seems like it's the white paint that was the problem. None of the other areas of the painting had that effect at all, but bit of a relief that it just corrected itself as if by magic. Anyhow, let that harden off for a full 24 hours, and then we'll flat it off with some paper and buff it up a bit, I guess. Right, well, there she is, back at home. I'm going to go over it with the wet and dry paper, going through the grades. I'm going to start with 1000 and work my way up to the 2500 like we did on the other dragon picture. I'm going to try a little tiny bit of soap in the water as recommended by Stuart. Right, now let's give it a going over with the cutting polish. You can see there is still a little bit of orange peeliness where it catches the light, but the cutting polish might get rid of some of that. Could go over it all again, perhaps. Shall I? Don't know really. I don't think there's much risk of going through this. I put quite a lot on it. Ooh. Now let's play it safe and hit it with the cutting paste next. And now, of course, we'll go for the car polish there. And there we go, there is the finished article. Let's hope lady who requested it is pleased with it. Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed it, press like, subscribe if you want to see some more. Ring the bell to be notified when we upload something new.